In this video, I want to teach you how to use the quadratic equation to solve a formula algebraically, as it says here. Now you'll see that I have the quadratic equation. Now where did I get that? Well, luckily you don't have to memorize it. They give it to you right here on the formula chart. So if you're not sure, you see magic words like quadratic formula, quadratic equation, look at the formula chart, see if you can find something to plug into. So I've already written it on the screen for you. Now you may look at it and go, okay, I don't know what this means. Well, let's see if we can do one together and see if we can get the answer. And as I go along, I'll teach you how to use it. Here's an example of an equation. 3x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. Well, this formula, I see x's, but b's, a's, c's, I don't see that. Well, here's what they mean. When you look at these, the number in front here is A, and this is B, and this is C. Okay? When you go to use this equation, A, B, and C are going to be the numbers that are in this equation. So this is a quadratic. We're going to use the quadratic formula for this equation. Anytime you see A, you're going to put a 3. Anytime you see B, you're going to use 2. And anytime you see C, you're going to use -1. So let's use the formula. The formula up there is minus B. Well, B is 2. Plus or minus. You may not know what that means right now. Don't worry about it. I'll solve that in a minute for us. Square root of B squared. Well, B squared, so 2 squared. 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 4 times A is 3. Times C is -1. Now again, all I'm doing is plugging in the numbers from this formula into this equation over 2 times A. So I've got numbers everywhere. Let's see what we get. -2 plus or minus square root. Let's figure out all this stuff under here. These are all multiplied. -4 times 3 is -12. Times the -1 is a +12. So it's 4 plus 12. Let's do it one more time. -4 times 3 is -12. Times the -1 changes the sign, becomes +12 over 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up having 2 answers. How do I get 2 answers? Well, that's what the plus or minus is for. First time we're going to use the plus. -2 plus the square root of 4 plus 12 is 16 divided by 6. Now notice very quickly, what times what gives me 16? Well, the answer is 4. We'll come back to that in a second. In the second answer, I'm going to use the minus. -2 minus square root of 16 over 6. All right, let's put our math together. So -2 plus 4 is a +2. -2 plus 4 is, so instead of this, I have 4. -2 plus 4 is a 2. Notice very quickly there's a 2 in both of these. Take a 2 out. My answer is 1 over 3. That's one of my answers. -2, and we said that this is a 4, so that's gone. -2 minus 4 is a -6 divided by 6. -2 minus 4 is -6. There's a 6 in both of those. That's -1. There's my other answer. To use the quadratic equation, you are just taking the numbers from the equation, plugging them right where they go, and being careful with your math and see what answers you get. You're always going to get 2 answers. Why 2 answers? Because you have a plus and a minus sign. The first time you use the plus, second time you use the minus, and you get both answers. Let's do one more quickly and see what we get just to make sure we understand the quadratic equation. Let's try one like this. X squared plus 2x minus 8 equals 0. All right? A 1, that's the A. A 2 is the B. And -8 is the C. So you'll notice I label them to make my life easier. Minus B, that's 2. Plus or minus, I'm just using this formula right here. Square root of B squared, 2 times 2 is 4, minus 4 times A, that's a 1. C, -8. All I'm doing is plugging the numbers where they go. A's, B's, and C's over 2 times A, which is 1. So -2 plus or minus the square root. All right, let's see if we can figure this out. -4 times 1, that's -4, times negative 8 is a plus 32. 4 times 8 is 32, and it's a plus sign. So it's 4 plus 32 over 2 times 1 is 2. So I'm going to have, again, two answers. The negative 2 plus the square root. Let's see if we can figure this out. 4 plus 32 is 36. Now that's 6 times 6, so I'll go ahead and do this. That's just a 6. Square root of 36 is 6. If you're not sure, then put the answer in your calculator. Square root 36 equals 6. So I know that's my answer. Over 2. So there's all of that. So this time I use the plus. Minus 2 plus 6 divided by 2. And the next time it's minus 2 minus 6 over 2. So let's see what we get. Minus 2 plus 6 is 4 over 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. There's one of my answers. Minus 2 minus 6 is minus 8 over 2. 8 divided by 2, that's a 4, and it's negative. So minus 4 is my other answer. So there's my two answers. Using the quadratic equation looks difficult as you look back at it, but it's really plugging A's, B's, and C's into this formula and then just being very careful with your charges. In the next video, you'll get to try a couple on your own.